my son.
Ohio.
I was trying to figure out what was going on. It connected in my brain what was happening, so I'm not going to touch anything for the rest of the show except for these slides.
Dig. And I will fumble around with everything else.
I mean, that's how these shows work over here. But hello, all you BC Wrestle Pod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the Strong Style Syndicate, your New Japan Pro Wrestling. I guess we could call them pay-per-views. Yeah, we'll call them pay-per-views. Pay-per-view review show
events.
Here at
events.
Live events, shows, whatever you want to call it. But this is the New Japan segment of the BC WrestlePod conglomeration networking syndicate thingamabob we do every day of the week except for Thursdays. Except for this Thursday, because we're doing something on Thursday. Because Freak Thursday. I am one of your Strong Style Syndicate hosts, Mikey, and of course, joining me is my hermano Gaijin brother from another mother, Mr. Adolfo, the nerdy Puerto Rican, my friend. How are you this evening?
I'm great. I'm going on record that I disagree with the report card on this, and
I gave it.
I don't, and because of that disagreement, I don't agree with the report card thing, but that's beside the point. Hot takes.
Well, damn, I'm just one person, you guys. Listen, I don't see any of you stepping up to do any of this. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay.
No. But yeah, no, this was great. Dominion was, I'm pumped for G1. We were talking before we went on camera about, one of the main threads throughout Dominion that I liked. I'm thinking it's not that Mikey didn't like it, but it was interesting, as he would say. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. Let's do it.
Absolutely. So before we get into our Dominion review, and we're also going to be previewing the G1 Climax, but Adolfo has said we had to wait until the play-in matches are done to pick a block, but that is okay. A little bit of housekeeping. If you are new to BC WrestlePod, whether it was through your own volition, the algorithm, or word of mouth, we are happy that you found our lovely Twitch and YouTube channels here, as well as on Kick. If you somehow found yourself on Kick, we love you too. But we do full-length live stream reviews as well as edited videos for all the weekly shows, all the pay-per-views, all the events of the international brands, if you will. So we do a lot here at BC WrestlePod, but we understand that time is of the essence in certain cases, and you may not be able to commit yourself to full-length reviews. And that is okay, because if you follow us on the social medias at BC WrestlePod on your favorite social media site of choice, we're pretty much on everywhere and anything at this point. You can keep up to date with the reviews through our clips that kind of summarize all the important stuff that we talk about in the episode, as well as looking at all the report cards that you may or may not agree with, just like Adolfo here. No, just kidding.
Full-length reviews in this economy with these tariffs?
Listen, I am a millennial. I have 14 jobs just doing this. So I got like 15 jobs out here, man. But we do the full-length report cards for all the weekly shows, the events, and the pay-per-views for all the stuff that we cover here. So you can read up on our thoughts and our results for all of that to keep you up to date on everything. We also have some merchandise available at BC WrestlePod /fourthwall.com, where we have merch for all of our review teams. We have a Hot Boy Summer collection, giving our little luchador mascot something to do in our merchandise and the summer fun. We also have 2 special collections as a response to what is going on in the world currently. We have our Grapple with Pride collection to celebrate Pride 2025, and proceeds from every item, or at least part of the proceeds for every item sold in that collection, will be donated to Point of Pride, which is a charitable organization helping when it comes to trans health and gender affirming care. And then we also drop our We Don't Tap collection as a response to all the countrywide protests of No King's Day and all the stuff going down with the federal government. And proceeds from that collection will be donated specifically to the CIYJA, which is the California Immigration Youth Justice Association, which provides assistance, financial support, and legal support to immigrants, specifically children of said immigrants, who ranging from any age, that are being affected by all this stuff. So just wanted to say that as a fellow Latino in California who is witnessing all this firsthand, just know that we support you, we love you, and never tap out, keep on resisting. So, si se puede. Anywho, now that I gotten that out of the way, let's get into it. So I watched this yesterday because it aired live at midnight. I'm like, I'm going to bed in the morning. I'm going to make my breakfast and then watch this as a breakfast treat. And so Dominion took place Sunday, June 15th at the Osaka-Jo Hall, which, I looked at pictures. It's looked really nice. It's a whole castle. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And this is one of the 4 big events that New Japan, and for us, this is the second biggest one after Wrestle Kingdom in terms of like non-tournament related. So we got a lot to discuss. So let's just jump into it. Started off with what is considered our showcase of the Young Lions here. And we kick things off with this tag team match of Young Lions, Katsuya Murashima and Shoma taking on Daiki Nagai and Masato. I actually really like this match. And again, one thing I love about New Japan, I love this match because it was a good technical showcase showing, these in the next couple of years is probably going to be the new crop of talent coming in and working in New Japan. But I also love this match because, New Japan does not shy away from body types of all sizes and shapes. And we love to see that. I was like, represent the big boys out here.
I thoroughly enjoyed this match too. Not to jump the shark, but our winners were Sato. And I saw in this match the seeds being sown for some rivalries down the line. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for 3 years down the line when these individuals are on the main roster. We'll be like, do you remember when we saw the match when they were the Young Lions in Dominion? Now look at them, they are very technically sound. It was a very technically sound match. Was it like it was a wrestling fans match. If you're a fan of wrestling, if you're a fan of what wrestling is, then this was the match, and it got you hyped for what was to come.
Absolutely. This, again, I agree with you, Adolfo, that again, this is going to be really fun when we continue to watch New Japan. Be like, remember when these were just the Young Lions out here, but now they're full length on the roster doing feuds like this. Good times, good times. But again, as Adolfo stated, Katsuya Murashima and so do end up picking up the victory here, which leads us into our proper start of the main card, which is where things got off to a very interesting start.
Really quick, right before Dominion started, I thought this was really cool that they brought out the artist who did all the kanji lettering for all the Dominion artwork, Takeuchi. Yeah, she was, and they had a whole segment of how she did it, and like she got to talk. So I thought that was really cool that they brought the artist out to show people, that real artists are awesome.
I love New Japan too. And we talked about this when we were covering one of the other shows too, because we had a whole cosplayer come out with Tanahashi and they gave that cosplayer a whole segment in the ring before the match started, which was fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was so much fun. But now let's get, okay. Now let's get into everything proper because we kicked things off with this is a fun one. So we have an 8-man tag team match. And so this is Bullet Club War Dogs, which in this match is being represented by the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori. We also have Chase Owens, Clark Connors with no Wheelson, which I was very severely disappointed that there was no Wheelson.
Oh, there was Wheelson.
Oh yeah, there was, huh?
Oh, Wheelson was there. They made a brief appearance, but Wheelson was there.
He made a Stan Lee cameo. So Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, Clark Connors, and one of my new personal favorites every time I see him is Drilla Maloney.
Drilla, such a great name.
Drilla Maloney, we love you. And then the Bullet Club War Dogs is taking on the House of Torture in this one, which as of before the match started and what was announced, it would be Sanada, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. And as soon as everybody made their way in, we're just sitting here like, okay, who's going to be this 4th member, right? So it turns out that this 4th member happens to be former Bullet Club War Dogs member and somebody that Chase Owens know. He's no longer going by Bad Luck Fale, but now it is Don with the salt and pepper. I'm like, what in the Tekken 5 is this? Like, we're just defecting from factions. We love to see that.
Yup. Yeah, this set the pace for the night, boy.
This was a really short match. This only went like 6.5 minutes. I blinked and it was over.
Yeah, but like a lot happened that I felt really set the stage for what was to come. I feel bad for Bullet Club Gold. I mean Bullet Club Gold. I feel bad for Bullet Club War Dogs because they put up a fight. But House of Torture, Don Filet just seemed to out brutalize them. Even And maybe if there was more Wheelson, Bullet Club War Dogs might have
saved the day.
yeah, might have this might have been different, but yeah, Clark Connors did get to done fillet with Wheelson, which was cool. However, the thing that I felt the betrayal, and I didn't think I was that big of a Bullet Club War Dog fan, was at the end. Yeah, when Chase Owens betrays the War Dogs, ends up pinning Drilla Maloney.
Also getting cocked with that guitar too.
Yeah, getting smacked with that guitar. And that set up I've been watching wrestling for a while, right? I did have a little bit of a break, but I've been watching wrestling for a while. And I have seen my share of betrayals. A lot of times, even though you see it coming a mile away, the way it's done, it's still like a good story. So it's like, yeah, I saw that coming, but we'll let it pass. This betrayal, and maybe it's because we're so new to New Japan, they did not.
I was caught off guard too. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, very well done. I don't know like how the creative works over at New Japan, but very well done. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this first match. And like not to spoil anything, it sets up the night that House of Torture took over New Japan pretty much.
So we had the defection of Don Fale and Chase Owens to the House of Torture.
Really quick, Mikey, I got 2 questions that I actually jotted down.
What's up?
So at the beginning of the year, House of Torture was not that big, right? Mm-hmm. And it really didn't look like they had that much momentum going on. We are now, dare I say, halfway through the year. Mm-hmm. Now, House of Torture has just like, I feel House of Torture out of nowhere has just exploded.
And we kind of a little bit during the Best of Super Juniors too. Well, at least I saw it a lot in my block because I had House of Torture in my block.
Right. Well, and I saw a little bit too, but like not to signify like this degree.
Right.
Of explosion, So my question to you is, how long do we see this like House of Torture domination, if you will? Is it going to be like an NWO back in old school WCW thing? Is it going to be like, like a bloodline thing where like, they like run everything, a Death Riders thing? What do you think? You watch all the wrestling, so.
Okay, so that's a good question, right? So here's what I'm thinking is going to happen, right? So I think, this is the second of the big 4 shows for New Japan. And like I say it all the time, I think the big shows are, Wrestle Kingdom, Sakura Genesis, Dominion, and then the fall show, which I believe is, I'm trying to think. It's one of them, but there's a big fall one after the G1. So I actually think that the summer is going to be of 2 different sets of things. I think it's going to be the summer of House of Torture, in which they're going to run craziness through the rest of the summer, which includes the G1 and everything else that we got going on. But I also think it's what's called the summer of youth too, because I think the young kids are going to be coming up during the summer to be doing some crazy things, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But all the time is going to be, I think House of Torture is going to run the summer at least.
Okay. All right. Now, and really quick, in about a minute or less, where's Bullet Club go from here?
I still think that we are inevitably going to get a match in which we determine the new leader of Bullet Club War Dogs, and I still think that's David Finlay versus Gabe Kidd.
Without a doubt. Okay, yes. That's it. All right, cool. Moving on.
We move on to our next match on the card, which was a tag team match, and this saw Mr. ELP El Phantasmo, who we love dearly in this household, and Mama Laguilla is one of her new favorites after taking her to her first New Japan show. And he is teaming up with Shota Umino to take on TMDK, which is being represented by Ryohei, and of course, the best technical wrestler out here in Zack Sabre Jr.
Best technical wrestler alive. I will die on that hill.
Yes. We will die on, Adolfo will die on this hill. I will die on the mound. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is very fantastic. But this was a really, first of all, I love ELP and Shota's entrance just because Shota was also wearing the glasses and the coat as well. I'm like, give me this tag team all the time. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah, totally. I love the fact that Shota wore the ELP glasses coming in. That was awesome.
So. Also, I will say that
again, this was a really fun match to watch. All 4 wrestlers brought it. I felt like it showed his range because it was very comedic. you know, when like they did the claps for each other and this, that, and the other. I thought it was cool that Zack and ELP, did that. But yeah, we end up with Zack Sabre Jr. pinning Shota Umino off of a great reversal, off of a reversal, which we're used to seeing Zack Sabre Jr. do. Yeah, definitely good, definitely great. Loved it.
Absolutely. We love to see it. So again, I'm interested to see what happens because right now ELP is still currently our New Japan Television Champion. So who knows if he's going to get a challenger leading into all of this, but I digress. This is going to be a lot of fun. TMDK picked up the win. Their momentum is continuing on the upswing. So we'll see if TMDK is able to do the same during the G1, which we'll talk about at the end of the show. So next up, continuing on our retirement tour for Hiroshi Tanahashi. This is the Tanahashi Road, if you will.
Yeah, retirement. Yep. Road to retirement.
The road to retirement, which has, of course, one of my favorite newly technically sound peoples, and I think he's improved a lot in Mr. Yuya, taking on the Is of New Japan in Hiroshi Tanahashi. Is.
Yeah.
I love it's having such a fun time with this.
Yeah, this was a fun match. This, I don't want to say that this was like the get a snack match or the pee break match in a bad way, but this was definitely the match like that if you walked away and then came back, you really didn't miss anything. Having said that, it was really well wrestled between these two. One thing I appreciate was the emotion that Yuya showed on his face as Tanahashi was coming in. I felt that it was almost like he realized, holy shit, I am wrestling a legend, and this is like one of his last matches, right? Like, my mind is blowing right now, but I need to keep it all inside,
Right.
It's like Fossy, Martha Faye, 12, but we keep it all inside. Yeah, so I thought that was great. But the match was cool, Tanahashi finally gets a win. I feel like he's been letting a lot of people lately.
You got to win after the rolling around sequence.
The rolling around sequence, yeah. But yeah, it was good match. And, speaking of which, onward we roll with the Hiroshi Tanahashi retirement tour, because we're going to be talking about that in a minute.
We're going to talk about that for sure. So again, beats Yuya. This is a fun one. This was we knew what we were getting match. So yeah. So I'm like, okay, we got an injured House of Torture member. So what is about to go happen? Adolfo, I was not prepared. I am so happy he is back, but at the same time, it's like, no, why are you doing this to me? Because we find out that show's partner,
who's now part of House of Torture,
was now part of House of Torture.
Yeah, it was like New Japan was like, hey, we heard you like watching betrayals, so here's another betrayal for your betrayal. I just when I saw Doki come out, I was like, what? And it was the reaction from Yo and Master Wato was great.
Yeah, because Doki was in the faction with them.
Yeah, it was great. Yoshinobu Kanemaru was not injured. I personally thought he was hiding like a really big bottle of whiskey up there.
Right.
That's what I thought it was. But I liked the way that he used. So he came out in in a cast and arm sling type situation, right? And whenever the ref wasn't looking, he would slip it out and he would cast. He would either pull the feet out from someone or interfere in some way or cast interference on the ref. Which props to House of Torture. I hate referee interference, right? Because I feel like it's just so blatantly are you kidding me? You're not seeing this right now? But I feel like House of Torture, especially in this match, every time that they interfered with the ref, it was a viable, he didn't see that because, every time he kept trying to turn around, it was like, no, I need to tell you, and it would physically grab his shoulder and right. Or Kanemaru, would jump up and he would be saying something to keep the ref occupied. So I thought that it was really well done. In this match, the referee interfering with the referee. I also, I feel bad for Yo and Master Wato. They have no once Doki came out, they had no chance.
Left their bodies. They're just dang.
Yeah, God's bless them. They tried to fight, But yeah, this match just continued the House of Torture domination of Dominion. So
House of Torture now holds the trios never openweight 6-man tag team championships and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
yeah,
It's crazy out here, but this was a fun match. Doki broke my heart. By the way, shout out to Sho and Doki's tag team name of La Es, which is really cool.
That's
so,
fantastic.
Love that.
Yeah.
So we got to move on though, because United Empire, we thought we were getting somewhere, and then you all came crashing down. But I do like some storytelling because Mr. Francesco Akita over here, well, I don't know how Francesca is going to deal with this, but Callum is also kind of getting feisty now. Callum is getting feisty.
Yep.
So this is for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. And so this is our champions, United Empire, which is Great Khan and Callum Newman, taking on the team of Tomohiro Ishii and Taichi, our lovely idol of New Japan. I'm burying the lead a little bit. I did not expect titles to change hands again.
I was about to say, I did not have this in my 2025 bingo card.
No.
That Great Khan and Callum Newman were going to lose to and Taichi. My gods, like towards the end, the pop from the audience was just palpable, and I love that, man. It's like an illegal drug right in my veins. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for United Empire. They wanted Taichi to get that pin, and they wanted him and Ishii to walk out with those belts. And I felt like if that didn't happen, there was going to be a riot.
No, so what makes this even crazier too is that Ishii is the double champion now in New Japan, tag team champ, and he's our New Japan Strong Open champion too. Yeah. And go ahead.
So a question, as you alluded to, we thought United Empire was starting to build momentum. I mean, they still do hold the New Japan Tag Team Championship, right? But they seem to be back to sputtering. And I know that the announcers kept talking about the direction of United Empire, and they needed to find a direction. What do you feel the direction for the United Empire is after this match?
So hear me out, right? Because it seems that House of Torture continues to be grabbing people left and right to join their cause. And I think we're going to have some internal fighting between Gabe and David, and War Dogs are going to need to figure something out. Despite them being enemies, wouldn't it be crazy if the remaining members of United Empire and the remaining members of Bullet Club War Dogs team up to take out the House of Torture?
I mean, that'd be cool.
It'd be something. It'd be a fun summer.
That'd be fun.
So as of right now, Tomohiro Ishii and Taichi are your new. This is going to be an interesting summer because the Junior Tag Team Championships changed hands. The regular tag team championships changed hand, and the hits just kept on coming because this next one.
If I'm jumping the shark, the Alpha has fallen.
This was the best trilogy. These two had such a really good trilogy this year.
I did not think that this was going to happen. But yeah, wow. Boltin Oleg for the Never Open Weight Championship. We have a new Never Open Weight. Wow. And what a match, man. What a match. It was so good. So good. And because
is exactly what I want.
Yeah. I'm sorry. No. You go ahead.
So no, as I was stating, because this has been a feud that has been going on pretty much all year so far. So this is their third encounter. And listen, I love Takeshita. I always will. Yes, he's part of AEW, but this man is also signed to DDP and New Japan, so he gonna be here for a little bit.
Yep.
This was a hard fought match. This was amazing. But damn, Boltin, man, yes, sir. My gosh. And it's crazy to think because, again, I've been watching New Japan for a little bit now. And when it was just me and JVL, Boltin was part of that Young Lion stuff where he was still kind of in the training phases, getting that. And now he's the new Never Open Weight champion.
Yo, that's so cool. That's so awesome. Yeah. And during his reign as the Never Open Weight champion, I didn't see all of his defenses, but the defenses that I did get to see that Takeshita put on were all fantastic. I haven't watched AEW in a while, but all the matches that he had while I was watching AEW were fantastic. I don't want to jinx it, but like I don't think that Konosuke Takeshita has a bad match in him. He can morph and match any of his partner's styles. It's crazy, because let's spade here. Like Bolton, he was just straight man meat. He was muscle. This was like an old school 1980s wrestling match. You know what I mean? We had some powerful slams, powerful drives. We had stuff outside of the ring going up the ramp. Your brain busters. We didn't have, but we had, some top rope moves, but like no big crazy like moonsaults or like hurricane marauders or anything like that. I felt this was like an old school 1980s match, and man, it just made 7-year-old Adolfo just like start giggling. That's how this match made me feel. It was so just like the first beginning match. If you are a fan of wrestling, you need to seek this match out and freaking watch it, because man,
it definitely was. And on the flip side of that too, I'm really excited to see where Bolton Oleg goes as champion.
Yeah,
it makes
definitely.
me excited who he gonna face, what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
we won't have to wait long, because him and a whole bunch of folks are gonna be very busy over the summer.
Oh, totally, dude. We gotta figure out how to watch DDT. Like, I want to see. Like, now I'm interested. I'm like vested in Bolton. I want to see his reign. I want to see the next match. Like I want.
We'll talk after the show, because I know how, and we'll just figure it out.
Dig it. All right.
Okay. So, and I really want to, because now I'm in love with Mao, and I need to see more Mao on my screen.
Yes.
It's fantastic. But after the dust is settled, Bolton Oleg is your new never open weight champion. Man, this match was so much fun. I loved every single moment of it. So let us move on to our next match, which this was also actually pretty good. So this was our dog collar death match, and this was the finality of what happened at the cage match about 2 months ago. And we are getting the leaders going up against each other. So the leader of Bullet Club War Dogs and Mr. David Finlay taking on the leader of House of Torture and Evil. My goodness, this was wild. This was a wild match.
Yeah. Now, within a week, this is the second dog collar match I've watched. I believe it's the second that you've watched, unless amongst the 20 other wrestling shows that you watched in the span between GCW and this, there was another dog collar match that I didn't know of.
No, this is the second one. Yep.
All right, cool. But I was concerned because when I hear that it's a dog collar match, I know I'm going to get violence, just straight up violence, right? Throw all that technical crap out the window, getting violence. And the bar was set really high at that GCW show, even with the crucifixion of Joey Janela. Like that was art. Like I'm gonna be 100. That was art. So coming into this match, I was like, am I gonna be able to watch this match without trying to compare the two? And kudos to these two wrestlers for putting on a fantastic dog collar match that was different than what I saw at GCW, but was still really violent and told a really good story. David Finlay and Evil, like there were no gusset plates. There were no other than the dog. No, because what's his face still had the wrench, but I don't think he hit Dave Finlay with it. I feel like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the only weapon that Finlay and Evil used was just that dog collar chain on each other.
Yeah, that was really the only thing that they used.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of blood. Oh, and the table they put Finlay through the table.
Yeah,
but this was again, I didn't realize I cared about the Bullet Club War Dogs that much, because seeing David Finlay get choked out by Evil, and then the House of Torture come in and just like degrade the poor man while he's unconscious. And I felt like they literally just pissed all over the Bullet Club.
all over them, man. Metaphorically.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Why
Revenge is
do
gonna
I
be
care
sweet.
about the Bullet Club War Dogs? Where is this coming from?
Revenge is gonna be so much fun for them. But as
Yeah.
Evil does win over David Finlay, all of House just take a dookie like over like metaphorically speaking over David Finlay. They just like desecrate, disrespect Bullet Club War Dogs. This is wild. This summer's gonna be wild.
They had all the members of House of Torture out there, even the new ones that they just picked up.
It's crazy.
They already got the shirts and everything.
This was a good one. Shit, this is what I listen.
This was on. So I know that David Finlay has been making appearances in AEW, and in my little echo chamber that I've built on Blue Sky, I know there's been a lot of talking about Gabe Kidd and like, well, what really he seems like a Timu Conor McGregor. He seems like an English,
because he was pulling out some Death Rider moves in this match, man. Pulling out the Mox move.
Right. He seems like a Timu Mox. Like, what is he really? Please. And the whole time I'm like, yo, Gabe Kidd can wrestle. Please do not let his like 5-second stints in your American wrestling cloud your picture, because my boy can wrestle. And Yota Tsuji, are we deep enough into the
drop your curse word for the episode?
They threw the fuck down, and it was gorgeous. Yo, again, third match in a row where at the end, it was just like, finisher, 1-2 kick. Oh my God. And then finally, finisher, 1, 2, 3. Gabe Kidd is now the new IWGP global champion. And I was just like, yo, I did not see that coming. I didn't expect it. I didn't, but man, it was awesome. And then the afterwards, right? Where Gabe Kidd, he wasn't like pretentious. He wasn't a dick. He wasn't anything, right? He just like gave us what we wanted and was just like, yo, Yota, you and I, we're doing this dance again. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. Just give that shit to me. I'm excited. I can't wait. Oh my God. And then
Tanahashi comes out and responds. I'm right. Like, yes.
And when we get to the first, I'm assuming, I haven't seen any like official graphic, but I'm assuming that Gabe Kidd's first defense of that belt is going to be against Yo, yes, sir. I'm digging it. I'm so digging it.
Match ruled.
I am 100% behind Kenny Omega when he said that with wrestlers like Gabe Kidd, that New Japan is in good hands. Watch this match. If you don't know who Gabe Kidd is and you only know him from American TV, watch this fucking match. Thank you.
I'm so excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. So we get to our main event, which was this is
another one.
This is another one. So no House of Torture shenanigans, no craziness. Nope. This was just a straight up match between these two. In your main event for Dominion 2025, this is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, in which the challenger Shingo Takagi is taking on his longtime frenemy, rival, whatever you want to call it, in our champion of Goto.
Yep.
This is Strong Style at Strong Style's best. Not even, listen, Goto's amazing. Shingo has been on my radar since him and Bryanson Danielson threw down at Forbidden Door last summer. Oh my God, Shingo's kicks look so devastating to take.
Yeah.
But Goto, man, this was just, I can't formulate sentences correctly because I was just in awe. This was almost a 30-minute match, and I was invested in every single minute.
Yes. I'll tell you what, so going through this gauntlet of matches to get to this, I was like, there is no way they can keep this type of emotional high I'm feeling. Boy, howdy, was I wrong. Hiroki Goto and Shingo Takagi they put on a clinic, and not only was it a wrestling strong style clinic, but it was an emotional clinic as well. Great storytelling in this match. Another one that the pop from the audience was ridiculous. It was just like, yes, give it to me. Not to jump shark. I know I always say this. We do get Goto retaining, but man, such a hard fought battle. So good. I feel that this match really cements the whole revolution that Goto is doing. Now, with all the shenanigans we saw throughout Dominion with House of Torture, not sure, it looks like there's a storm ahead, iceberg dead ahead, if you will.
Evil. I'm just kidding. I would not be surprised if Evil comes up against, Goto at some point this summer.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but that
House of Torture and Evil may not be the only ones coming after Hiroki Goto too, because Goto and Zack Sabre Jr. had a little bit of some exchange. Zack still wants a rematch, especially after everything that went down at Resurgence. And, he wants to make sure that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And he wants a rematch against Goto. And Goto says, you know what? I will agree to that. So whenever we get that match too, you got Zack, you have Evil, you got some other people who might be coming up shortly. Goto's going to have a busy summer, especially during the G1.
Coming out of this, though, what I do not want is I do not want a sad, depressed Shingo Takagi, because
he fought his ass off for this one.
He fought his ass off, and at the last live event, at the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors, he made that whole statement on that belt that you have is I need that. Time and time again, I've seen that type of rhetoric used, and then the person loses, and then you get this pathetic story for them.
It's the woe is me character, yeah.
Yeah, and by the gods, I do not want that with Shingo Takagi, because he fought so hard and so well, and he's such a good overall wrestler. That please don't fall into that trope. I don't know, but just don't make him sad. Takagi, I don't want to see sad Takagi. Please, thank you.
Very, very fair. So that does bring us to the end of New Japan Dominion. This was a very fun show. We have lots of new champions going into the summer. So it is going to be a House of Torture and Summer of Youth as well, because you got the youngins. This is going to be a fun summer. But before we wrap everything up, we also did get some announcements during the show, especially the next big thing for us, the next big thing for the Strong Style Syndicate. Now that we are done with Dominion, we get a little bit of a break for 3 weeks, and then we are not even 3 weeks. I want to say 4 or 5 weeks, because the tournament doesn't start until the middle of July. But the next big thing for Strong Style Syndicate is going to be the G1 Climax. So we just did the Best of the Super Juniors in May leading into June, and we're going to be sticking, I can officially confirm and announce this, we are going to be doing the same format for the G1 Climax. Thankfully, it's only 2 blocks, just like the Best of the Super Juniors. So Adolfo and I will be choosing, as we get closer to the start of the tournament, on a show that we are together, we will pick our blocks, but we don't have a complete 100%. So in A block, because again, just like Best of the Super Juniors, the G1 is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So of course, our champion is going to be in here. So in A block, and then we have our play-in matches. So I'm gonna be completely upfront. We'll probably end up doing the same thing where we do a coin toss. I'm gonna fight you for B. I'm really leaning to B. I really want to see ELP, but honestly, A looks strong too.
Straight up. I'm cool with keeping A block. I'm cool.
Yeah. All right, so
we're good.
We made it. You have official here. Adolfo will be covering A. I will be covering B block.
Yep.
Damn, that block is stacked. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But the remaining 4 spots will be determined over the next 2 or 3 weeks with the play-in matches. So our play-in matches are as follows. So the 2 A block matches that we have. So our first A block play-in match is going to see Taichi versus Callum Newman. So there's still some bad blood between those two.
Yeah.
So winner will be officially moved into A block. And then the other A block that we have is going to be Don, one of the newer members of House of Torture, and he will be taking on, I believe, Master Watto. So that's going to be interesting. And then go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Now this is A block. So give me your thoughts. Who would you, between these 2 play-in matches, which 2 would you like to see complete the A block for you?
All right. So Taichi got the big win against Callum Newman. So I'd be okay seeing Callum Newman get the win against Taichi to get into the G1. Because I'll be honest, between these two, I don't see them getting. I don't see either one getting a lot of points during the actual tournament. On the other side, I really, really want Master Wato to win. You know, I haven't felt this in a long time where there was a bad guy faction that I just like, by the gods, please someone beat them. You know, the last time I felt this was back when I was watching WCW with the NWO, right? Like that's how I'm feeling about House of Torture. I'm like, by the gods, they are grown into this big ugly monster. Someone please beat them. And Master Wato, he has been so brutalized by House of Torture. I feel like, again,
there's a glimmer of hope somewhere.
Right, exactly. Give me something, because I mean, again, I don't feel that either of these two, when they get in, are going to get a lot of points in the actual tournament. But yeah, I really want to see Master Wato get in there.
And then for the B block play-in matches, we have Tomohiro Ishii versus Drilla Maloney, and then Hiroki Goto's tag team partner, Mr. Yoshihashi, taking on Chase Owens. I'm gonna be so for real between Yoshihashi and Chase Owens. I'm rooting for Yoshihashi because it would be really fun to have him in there, your long-term vet. And again, I want to see this big evil faction be taken down a couple of pegs. And this is going to sound blasphemous, but I love Ishii. I would think he would be killer in the tournament.
I'm right with you.
But I got to go with Drilla, man. I want to see Drilla in the G1 for B-Block. I get him some reps in. Like, if his match against Tomohiro Ishii at Resurgence is any telling, like, this kid has potential, and I think getting some reps in the G1 would do him so much good things. And plus, I just want War Dogs to have some sort of like recompense, if you will. So I'm rooting for Yoshihashi and Drilla to be in B block. So those play-in matches are going to be happening June 23rd and July 4th. So the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will get these play-in matches happening, and then officially on July 19th, we will be starting the G1 climax. So again, the format will be the same as we did for Best of the Super Juniors, in which Adolfo and I will be watching our respective blocks. And then at the end of the week, depending on what the schedule looks like, which should be about the same, Friday, you will either get a live stream or a pre-edited review of the weeks in advance. And then we will have a big old review show at the G1 finals, which will be taking place on August 16th and 17th, which means that the review would be on the 18th or whatever Monday that is following the tournament.
Yeah, we'll get there. Do me a favor, take it back to the slide that had all
the block of the 16 members of the block.
Yes, please.
There we go.
Okay, my good people. So
let's take
we know that this is the Hiroshi Tanahashi retirement tour. Okay. And we know he's going to be wrestling some good matches. However, if you are a New Japan fan, if you watch New Japan, if you watch Hiroshi Tanahashi, please, in the comments, I would like to see your thoughts on what the over-under is for Hiroshi Tanahashi winning the G1 climax. Because story-wise, again, his retirement tour next year, he's done. It would make a good story if Hiroshi Tanahashi ends up winning the G1 climax. But I want to hear from our fans, fellow New Japan. If you're an older New Japan fan, please, give me your reasoning. I want to see. I'm a New Japan fan, so like take my hand, guide me through this. Yeah. Let me hear your thoughts. Like I told Mikey, other than that, I am not making any predictions until we get our play-in winners, and then I will give who I feel will win the tournament. You are muted.
I knew that. The House of Torture found me. Shenanigans are happening. No, in all seriousness, I'm really excited for the G1. Adolfo and I, in one of the reviews that we do in the next couple of weeks, once we finalize the blocks, then we can do a short, pick this person to win. We're going to pin it, and we're going to find out who ends up being right. But this brings us to the end of the Strong Style Syndicate. So, Adolfo, as always, I'm really happy that you are my New Japan partner in crime, my Gaijin brother from another mother, if you will. And I'm looking forward to the G1. We got a little bit of a break, but then we're gonna jump. Listen, this summer gonna be crazy. July gonna be packed.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've heard y'all talk about the G1, and I've always every time I've heard y'all or like someone else like mention or talk about the G1 class, I've always been like, man, what, how good could it be? I am now so damn hyped for this damn tournament.
I cannot wait for all of this. This is
Much
gonna be
excited.
fun.
Yup.
But before we sign off for the evening, I do got to go through the rest of this week because we got a loaded week as well. So tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, the review team will be here. The AEW crew, this whole entire week. So this is going to be buck freaking wild, y'all. So stay tuned for that. Then on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is the NXT Loso Show, NXT Review Squad. We will be here reviewing NXT as we are gearing up for the Great American Bash down the road. So that is NXT's next PLE, and NXT is building to that, as well as their women's division being built up with stories leading into Evolution 2, which is going to be crazy. Then, same night, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, is Los Lobos de la Lucha, your CMLL review show here at BC WrestlePod. We will be covering not only a fantastic, but we are going to be prepping ourselves because Friday is the big one for us of the summer, which we'll get into in a little bit. But we have a little bit of a minor pit stop on Thursday because we are bringing back for the second time ever the Ring Rats and Riot Axe crew. So that is our Defy Wrestling team of myself and Andrew. We will be reviewing Defy Wrestling's Vortex show, which saw, of course, Marina Shafir being amazing as always. We get the Defy Wrestling debut of Cedric Alexander, and we have a killer tag team 2 out of 3 Falls Championship main event match, which was so good. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to talk about it. But like I said, Friday, June 20th is the big one. Cancel your plans. Come join us because we are doing a live watch along for CMLL and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Fantastica Mania Mexico 2025.
Yup.
We are here. This is the second ever watch along we're doing for CMLL, which is nuts. The last time we did it was for the 91st show back in September. And not only are we doing a live watch along, this is a celebration, not just for wrestling. This is a celebration for Los Lucha because Fantastica Mania will mark the 1-year anniversary since we started watching and covering CMLL here at BC WrestlePod. That is crazy. And then finally on Sunday, the WWE crew will be here to review the Raw and the SmackDowns, as well as give our predictions for Night of Champions, which will be happening days later. So that's going to be a fun one. This was a fun show, but me and Adolfo got to get up on out of here.
Yep.
So thank you so much. Yeah, we got to go. So thank you so much for tuning in. And we have a very jam-packed week. So make sure to stop by and say hi and join us and leave comments below and interact with us because we love the interaction. But from us here at Strong Style Syndicate and the rest of the BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and remember, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you later, but until then, make sure to take care and love each other in these trying times, and we'll talk to you later. But ta-ta for now.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.